follow the breaking news that we've had in the last hour that Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe, the British-Iranian who's been held in Iran for nearly 6 years, and Anousheh Ashoori, who's been held in Iran for 4 years, have been freed. They are said to be at the Iranian airport, apparently on her way home. We think we can now speak to, because it's been an extraordinary story, this, and a family right at the heart of this. Let's speak to Lim Jones, Richard Ratcliffe, of course, is Nazanin's husband. Lim Jones is Richard Ratcliffe's brother-in-law and joins me now. Hi, Lim.
Hi, Matt.
What do you know that you can tell us?
So I can confirm what you've said. We believe that both Nazanin and Anousheh have been released. As far as I know, up to this moment in time, they are not on a plane yet, and we've had so many false hopes over the years that I think for me, I'm not going to be completely relaxed until I hear that they're actually both on the plane home. But they are at the airport. We have heard, I have seen some reports to say that they have been handed over to the UK. At the last that I heard, they were both in custody of the IRGC. The family went with Nazanin to the airport and have now had to return home, leaving her there in custody. But yeah, it all sounds very promising. It sounds as if they've both been released, and if they're not on a plane now, they'll be on a plane home very soon, which is obviously amazing news and a massive relief after years of pain for our whole family.
And when did you realise that something was happening? And are you, where is Richard? Are you with Richard? How did he find out?
No. So I'm not with Richard, and so we've been aware for a while that there were talks ongoing, that there were talks about to happen. The first that I was aware how close we might be was when news reports started to come out yesterday from contacts in Iran to say that the debt, the tank debt that has been linked to these cases had been paid, and that Nazanin and Anousheh would be released very soon. At that time, there was no confirmation from the Foreign Office to say that has happened. We still, other than those reports from Iran, don't know what has happened in terms of the negotiation. But clearly, there was a negotiation team in Iran. And then we had confirmation that Nazanin had her passport returned to her, which seemed like a really important moment. We have some prior experience of this because, of course, for many years, Nazanin's daughter was also in Iran without access to her passport, and in the same way, when she got finally had her passport returned to her, it was a very, very short space of time before she was on a plane back home to us.
And Lim, we last spoke, we met when Richard was staging his hunger strike outside the Foreign Office, which was back in November. What do you think has worked from your perspective? Do you think that the hunger strike worked? Did that put pressure on Liz Truss as Foreign Secretary in a way that other parts of the campaign didn't? Is there has Liz Truss, we've heard Tulip Sadiq, who was Nazanin's local MP, praising Liz Truss this morning. Has Liz Truss managed to do something that her predecessors as Foreign Secretary, Boris Johnson, Philip Hammond, Jeremy Hunt, didn't manage?
I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much, I don't think, or second guess what's made the final change. It's very clear that high-level negotiations were required between Iranian and British authorities in order to bring this moment about. Clearly, we haven't got to this point until now. I think, potentially those negotiations were always going to be complicated, always take time, but they always required political will. And I think we've reached the moment where there was the political will on both sides to make something happen. Which particular aspects of the campaign or which particular aspects of current circumstances in the relationship between Iran and Britain and world affairs finally brought us to this moment, I wouldn't like to comment. I think this has been to some extent in the works for a while, and I think it was important that over the years in many campaign events that Richard has done such an amazing job of keeping the world's attention on Nazanin and keeping the government honest on this and making sure that it was always high profile and that there was always the incentive for them to go out and resolve this issue, which I think has always been in our power to resolve.
And have you spoken to Richard this morning?
I haven't spoken to Richard this morning. No, I think he, like a lot of the family at the moment, will be rather so several of us are sort of inundated with requests for comment. I think Richard probably won't be giving any interviews or comment for a while, and his time is not his own at this precise moment in time. But,
we completely understand that, Lim, but we really appreciate your time this morning. Best of luck with it. We hope that this is the end of what has been an extraordinary journey. We really appreciate you finding time to speak to us this morning.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate being given the opportunity, and I think we're there, but we'll believe it when she's home with us.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck and keep in touch. That's Lim Jones there. He's the brother-in-law of Richard Ratcliffe, giving us the latest on what the family are saying as we await updates on the situation with Nazanin Zaghari-Ratcliffe. She's been held in Iran for nearly 6 years. Anousheh Ashoori has been held in Iran for 4 years. We got the news a little over an hour ago that they were on the way to the airport. Nazanin's local MP, Richard Ratcliffe, said that she was at the airport and on her way home.